This is Michael Joe from the VintageTradingPost.com. I'm also in the Facebook Graded MTG group. I want to shout out to all the guys in that group. Sean did a video this past week with JT. He actually interviewed me, but there were some technical difficulties. He kind of inspired me to do some of these videos that I'm about to do. I'm going to try putting one out a week. Tackling different topics. But right now the topic I want to talk to you guys about is what's going on with the prices. Because I've had a lot of people ask me about what's going on with prices, why the prices are shooting up. And, I even got people warning me of the bubble, the bubble. Everyone be wary of the bubble. So I just want to tackle some of these issues and talk to you guys about what my opinion is. Again, this is no facts or anything like that, guys. This is just my opinion, but let me start off with, I started playing Magic in 1994, the early spring of 1994. Unlimited was just phasing out. Legends was big. Revised was just starting up. I've been around for a long time, guys. I've seen the markets go up and down. I've seen power go up and down in value. But overall, guys, you guys got to admit, just looking at from the beginning till now, the card values progressively keep going up. Even when they start dropping, and everything that's good that goes up must come down. We know that rule, but even when cards shoot up, when they drop, they never drop down below what they were once worth. You know what I'm saying? So say a card is worth $1,000 and over a year's period it shoots up to $2,000. If it drops, it might go back down to $1,600, but that'll be about it. And that's the trend that I see with a lot of the iconic 93, 94 cards. So let me get into it, guys. Why are all these prices shooting up? Specifically with the 93/94 cards. Well, there's a lot of factors to it, and I think you guys are smart enough to know a lot of these factors. One, the reserve list. I know it's a hot topic issue. It's a hot button issue. A lot of people want to see that reserve list go away. Obviously, there's a lot of people that don't want to see it go away. Totally a separate topic. Not going to get into that. But that reserve list right now is what's making a lot of cards hot. You're seeing these buyouts. Guys with 20, 30 grand going out and buying out Sedge Troll from Revised. I mean, but that spikes the value. So that's one reason why the prices are going up. That the new style, the new format of 93, 94 Magic, I don't know about you guys, but in the Chicagoland area, it is starting to take off. I've seen tournaments where, the vintage tournaments out here were very small. Used to see 5, 10 guys maybe. But with these 93, 94 tournaments, I'm seeing 20, 30 guys. It's starting to remind me of the old school Type 1, Type 2 days. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, I think that's part of the reason. But let's talk about the real reason why I think the values are shooting up. You guys got to look at the sets in 93, 94. Again, I'm not going to insult your intelligence. You guys know that for the most part, the print runs are pretty low. Alpha aside, Alpha's obviously got the least amount of cards printed. But the other sets are pretty low as well. Arabian Nights, Antiquities, whatnot. Guys, here's what's going on right now. You're starting to see people getting back into 93, 94 or getting into 93, 94. I had a guy that called me up and he was looking for some cards and we were reminiscing a little bit and he told me that he used to play back in 93, 94 when he was in high school. And now he's older. He's got kids and he wants to go and buy some of these cards back just to relive the nostalgia of it. And he's not the first person that I've seen say that almost exact same story to me. You're starting to see a lot of the old school coming back and they want to play. So they want to go out and buy their cards again. You're also seeing a little bit of a fear factor with these buyouts as well. And what I mean by that is, we'll say the Dark, Frankenstein's Monster. That was a big one last week that spiked up. You'll see people run out and be like, oh my God, everyone's buying Frankenstein's Monster. It just shot up to $50. Oh wait, there's a guy on eBay selling for $45. I'm going to buy all of them out. I mean, to me, that's crazy, but that is the fear factor. And that's just on a low scale using Frankenstein's Monster. But, I know Rudy from Alpha Investments did a video about the Bazaar of Baghdad a couple months ago, and overnight that card shot up in money. And I mean, that's kind of what you're seeing, guys. That's that fear factor. Everyone runs out and spends tons of money on it. But again, I think there's even a better reason, I should say, of why everything's going up. I think everything's going up because these limited amount of cards that are in a pool, we'll say, okay, the 93-94 pool, we'll call it. I think that more and more people are getting curious about these older cards. Again, the rise in vintage players, 93-94, nostalgia, and then obviously investors buying up. They want a piece of that pool. Well, there's only a certain amount of cards in this pool, guys. And I think that obviously it's basic economics. When you go in and start buying them out, that pool shrinks, and now there's not so many of them. Again, Captain Obvious. I know I'm telling you guys what you guys already know. But let's stick with the graded cards. You know, the graded cards are very special because the graded cards are very mint cards for the most part. I mean, grading at 9, 9.5, 9.5 quad plus, etc. I mean, you get those rare 10s. Guys, those are gold. I mean, gold. Here's the thing. These guys that are just getting in want to buy those nice cards. There's not many in that pool to begin with at 9.5 or 10. I don't know how many are still left out there that are eventually going to get graded. I know certain people are sitting on a bunch of them. You know, a shout out to Daniel Chang. I know that he has a lot of vintage cards in real nice shape that he's sitting on, and you know what? That's good for him. I got a lot of vintage cards that are raw that I haven't graded. I don't know if they're going to get 9.5s, but guys, in this market right now, I personally think anything 7 and up should be graded. I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me on that, but I sent in a bunch of stuff over the last 12 months, and some stuff graded awesome. I got some 9.5, some 10s. You know, I got some 9s, 8.5s, 8s. But you know what? I put those on eBay, and I'm selling them like that. I mean, people are giving me my asking price on them, which to me is nuts. But hey, you know what? All I'm doing with that money is I'm taking it, and I'm reinvesting it in 9.5s and quads, whatnot, of vintage iconic cards. Like I said, guys, and that's kind of what you're seeing right now. Are people doing that? People getting in and trying to get that 9.5, but there's not many left out there, like I said, and I don't know how many more there are going to be. I think once that happens, now what you got to do is you got to start looking at the population on some of these cards. You're starting to see the population really affect the prices. An example was the Maestro's Workshop. I'm sorry, Maestro's Factory from Antiquities, the summer version. As many of you know, I was on the hunt for this card for a very long time. I personally do not have a graded Antiquities set. But I had a set, partial set. I had the winter, the autumn, and the spring. And I was looking for a 9.5 summer, and there's only, population was 8 at the time. We're talking about 8 in the entire world, guys, of BGS 9.5. Now, there are probably more out there that'll be graded. I was lucky enough to get the 9.5 quad. There's only one of those in existence right now. Sure, there probably will be another, maybe even a quad plus or a quad plus plus, who knows? But for now, that population is so low that people are paying good money. I personally spent a lot of money on that card, but I wanted it. And that's my point to you guys. When people want something, they're going to pay the money no matter what it is. It could be asinine amount, but they will pay it just to get that card. Since I bought that Summer Factory, I've had several people offer me almost double what I paid for it, just for that one card, which is just insane to me. And I'm one of those guys that, you know, I'm holding on to these cards. I don't want to get rid of them unless there is a dire emergency where I need money. And I think you're going to see that with a lot of collectors, guys, over the next couple of years. These guys are going to get those 9.5 or the rare 10 Tabernacle, and they're going to hold on to it. They're going to bring it to their casket with them. You know what I'm saying? With that said, you're not going to see so much circulation of these cards. They're going to start getting sucked up into collections, and that's going to be it. The prices will start going up, and pretty soon the price and the value is going to be what people are willing to pay. I've tried to flirt with the notion of making some type of price guide for graded cards, guys. I tried coming up with mathematical formulas and everything. I mean, there's so many factors. You got to use the overall grade. You got to look at the set. You got to look at the subgrades. You got to look at the population. You got to look at recent sales. There's so many factors to it that I don't know if there's really a way you can do it. But nonetheless, just look at what cards are selling for right now to come up with a baseline price. And that's what you guys are going to have to use. And I'm sure most of you guys have used that. Everyone likes to use the eBay recent sales. Anyway, that's it, guys. This is what I wanted to talk about, is just the prices. Real quick, I want to shout out to everyone that was warning me of the bubble. I've been collecting Magic for a long time. I remember back in the mid-90s, people warned me of a bubble. I remember in the early 90s, people thought I was nuts. People were like, oh my God, you sold your sports card collection, which was just BS. I mean, it's probably worth like $80 today. I traded it all in and I got Magic cards. They're never going to be worth, Magic or sports card prices. Well, I laugh at those people today. I really do. Because I think Magic is probably bigger than sports cards right now. And that's just my honest opinion. Is in regards to that, well, I just want to touch on this too. I think that Magic has such a ceiling, high ceiling left, that we're just catching up to sports cards, but we're still far away. I mean, we're slowly catching up. I think that, your Alpha Lotus and Alpha Power and even the Beta, that stuff, guys, is going to be compared to, Alpha will be compared to the tobacco cards of baseball, with the Ty Cobbs and the T whatever numbers of sports cards. The Beta and the Arabian Nights and the Antiquities and even some of the Legends, that's going to be like your 1952 Mickey Mantles and stuff like that. That's realistically what's going to happen. Barring, the only way a crash is going to happen is that reserve list, if they get rid of that reserve list. But even if that happens, guys, I can't see a dramatic drop. People are telling me, if that happens, it's going to be the Great Depression of MTG, especially in the 93, 94. I disagree. I don't think that's going to happen. You will see a drop, but eventually you'll see it come back a little bit. I mean, good examples of that would be like Mana Drain. They reprinted it. The original one dropped. I mean, but it never really went super, super low. It didn't crash completely. I think it's going to be like that with all of them, if the reserve list would ever dissipate. But again, separate topic. But going back to all those guys that warned me of the crash, the bubble. 3 years ago, I was buying cards and you guys warned me. 2 years ago, I was buying cards and you guys warned me. And last year, you guys warned me. And you know what? I appreciate your warning, guys. You guys could warn me today. That bubble's so big right now. Any minute, now the pin's going to come and pop. You guys watch for that pop, because I'm going to go out and still be buying cards. I'm trying to buy as much as I can right now. I'm buying collections and flipping them and getting them graded and flipping them and reinvesting all my money into vintage MTG, specifically graded cards. I personally collect play sets. That's 4 of every card, unless it's restricted in vintage. If it's restricted, I'll only get 1. For example, Library of Alexandra or Chaos Orb or, whatever. I'll only get 1 of those. In fact, I don't even know. Chaos Orb is probably banned in vintage now that I think about it. But Time Vault, you know what I'm talking about, guys. Everything else, I'm getting 4 of, and I'm doing pretty good. I just think this game is great. I mean, it's evolved from a game that was played in a coffee shop in the early 90s to one of the, probably the most played collectible card game in the world. But now you're starting to see it transform, guys. It's not only just a game where people are playing it. Now it's becoming one of the most sought after hobbies. It's getting up there with baseball card collecting, which has been around forever. It's really, really getting there, and I'm excited. Those guys that held on to their cards for when they were kids, good for you guys. Good for you guys. It's exciting to see this change. And with the collecting, now you got the grading aspect of it, and that's really taking a hold of everybody. Everyone's starting to see, hey, you know what? Why am I collecting, near mint cards when they're not even really near mint? Let's just go out and get graded cards, where they're certified, they're checked for counterfeits and stuff. And I'm not saying that Beckett or PSA is 100% on weeding out counterfeit cards, but they're pretty good at it. Like I said, guys, this is the state we're in, and that's why the prices are going up. Again, I hope I don't disagree with you guys really bad. I hope you guys aren't mad at me. I'm just telling you guys my opinion on why everything's going up. A lot of people have been asking me to make a video about it, and this is video one of a couple different coming up. I got different topics I want to talk about. If you guys have any questions, you guys have any comments, you guys are looking for cards, or you guys know cards that I'm looking for, hey, shoot me an email, guys. My email is thevintagetradingpost2017@gmail.com. Again, the Vintage Trading Post 2017@gmail.com. And you guys in the graded community, I'm Michael Joe. I used to be Walter White before Facebook made me change my name. And I just want you guys to know, and those who have dealt with me know, that was nothing like shady or anything like that. I am a police officer out in the Chicagoland area, and I don't like having my real name on social media for obvious reasons. So I was using that alias for a while, and now I'm Michael Joe. I just use my first name and my middle name. But if you guys ever need to get a hold of me, shoot me a message, shoot me a text, not a text, but an email. And like I said, guys, take it easy, guys. Have a good night.